Hi, I'm Adrian. I'm a financial planner with the largest independent financial advisory firm in Singapore. Today, we are going to look at a common insurance term called pre-existing medical condition. So what exactly are pre-existing medical conditions? They refer to medical conditions that existed before your insurance application. So for example, if you already have high blood pressure, high cholesterol, lumps or cysts in your body, sometimes the doctors are not even concerned about before your insurance application, they are considered as pre-existing medical conditions. How will this affect your insurance application then? Well, in some cases, it has absolutely no implication at all. While in some others, insurance company can come back with additional terms and conditions for you. The first of which is usually called extra loading, whereby the company is able to accept your insurance application but with additional premium. But hey, at the very least, you are being covered for this medical condition under this scheme. The next one would be exclusion. And when a company imposes an exclusion on your policy, it means that they are able to accept your policy but with an exclusion to the medical condition, which means they are not accepting that particular medical condition from the policy. So there may be a slight gap in your coverage now. In some other scenario, it could be a combination of an exclusion and a loading. But in the worst case scenario, your entire application can be declined totally, leaving you with no insurance coverage at all. This reminds me of Jane, who was referred to me by my client, as she was unable to get any insurance coverage for her son for the longest time, as he was born with a congenital illness. As we were talking about it, I realized that over the past 5 years, she has tried to apply to 3 different companies, 3 different agents, and she was being rejected every single time. She was even doubtful if there was anything that I could do for her at all. Now, because of the constant rejection, she felt very helpless in not being able to get any insurance coverage for her precious son. And I could totally relate to it, because my wife was unable to get any insurance coverage for herself after she recovered from a critical illness. It was a familiar feeling of frustration and helplessness at not being able to do anything at all. But that makes me want to do my best for her. We consolidated all the medical reports and the past rejection letters just to see if there are any other angles that we can present to the insurance companies. After going through the documents, I requested for a memo from his doctor on his opinion on her son's current condition, because from the reports it showed that her son's condition was rather stable. We did just that, and we submitted the documents to 10 different insurance companies for their pre-assessment. As expected, a few of them came back with an outright rejection. But as time goes by, we started receiving better news that some companies are able to accept but with an exclusion. So this is good news for them, because right now he doesn't have any coverage at all, and it's always better to have at least some coverage even though there may be an exclusion. So we had a discussion about it, and that's what they eventually decided to go for. So in the end, we managed to get a hospitalization plan with exclusion to the particular organ for her son. But the best part is, for his critical illness coverage, at the last minute, one insurer stepped in and decided to accept him as a standard case. Now this is great news for Jane and her family, and this will forever change the way that they are going to make financial decisions in the future. And why is this so? Because over the past few years, they have been trying to build up the emergency medical fund for him, because it was a condition that can affect him in the long term. But now, with this in place, they could potentially release some of the funds to either plan for their own retirement or for their children's education, or to simply just improve the quality of their life. When I broke the news to them, I could sense the air of relief, and it felt as though something heavy had just been lifted off their shoulders. They're very happy with the outcome, and they eventually went with it. Now this shows that sometimes applying to different companies can have very different results. And in this case, it worked out very well for Jane and her family. Have you experienced something like this before? How do you deal with it? Please share in the comments below.